Hello to the amazing first grade STEM students out there. Welcome back to this week's installment of our STEM lesson. It is all about measuring our growth. As you can see here, there's a little picture of a baby, and then that baby gets a little bigger and becomes a toddler, and then that baby becomes a little bigger and becomes a super amazing first grade student, just like yourself. As you can see, there's some rulers here because, again, today is all about measuring. Measuring where we started at when we were born as a baby to where we are now. And we're also going to be learning about some how animals grow and all of that. So we're going to start off our lesson by hearing a read aloud called A Tiger Grows Up. All right, so listen carefully and pay close attention to these baby tigers here, and let's see how they grow up.
Hi, kindergartners. Our read aloud today is A Tiger Grows Up, written by Anastasia Soon. Welcome to the world of wild animals. Follow a Bengal tiger cub as she grows up in India. From playing in the river to hunting in the tall grass, this young tiger quickly learns to live on her own. Deep in the forest, a tiny tiger cub is born. She is much smaller than you were as a baby. The cub has a new brother and a new sister too. The three cubs are helpless. Their mother watches over them in the den. At first, all the cubs can do is drink milk and sleep. She can't even open her eyes. Her mother must hunt for food. The tigress hides her cubs in the shadow when she leaves. Their stripes blend in with the colors of the forest. At just 1 week old, the small cub tries to stand up. Crash! She falls down. She gets up and tries again. She'll learn soon enough. Since the cubs can't walk, the tigress moves them by holding the scruff of their necks. The skin on the cub's neck is loose, so it doesn't hurt. On the prowl, the cub is now 3 months old and can walk. The tigress brings her cubs meat scraps. The cubs chew the meat with their baby teeth. A tiger cub drinks milk from her mother for about 5 months. At 6 months old, it's time for the cub's first hunting lesson. The tigress takes the cubs with her on a hunt. They hide in the grass and watch. The tigress slowly stalks her prey. She hides in the shadows as it comes near. She quickly pounces on an unsuspecting deer. In the morning, the tiger cubs play in the river. Splash! The tiger cub catches a fish and eats it. She is learning to hunt on her own.
Now, as you can see, the tigers are not only learning new skills like catching fish, but they're getting bigger and they're growing from very small tiger cubs that can't even open their eyes to pretty big tiger cubs that are already learning how to hunt for themselves.
Look out! The cubs are now strong enough and fast enough to catch animals by themselves. Tiger cubs stay with their mother until they are about 2 years old. Young tigers often live together after they leave their mother. Soon, they each go off to find their own territories.
So they are very big now. not quite adult size, but almost. And because they're not adult size yet, they stick together in a family for extra protection. And then, as she said, as the author said, they now are big enough to go off and find their own land.
At 4 years old, the young female tiger is ready to mate and have a family. In her den, the tigress gives birth to 3 baby cubs. Just like her mother did for her, the tigress feeds her cubs and keeps them safe. A new family has started in the forest.
The circle of life.
The end. Kindergartners, I hope you...
All right. Well, thank you for watching that story. Yeah, so the cub was born. It got a little bigger, learned how to do new things. It went off on its own, and then eventually it became an adult and had children of its own. The circle of life. So the next thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at the adult lion compared to a baby lion cub. So when baby lions are born, they're 30 centimeters tall from the ground up to the top of their head. 30 centimeters. And when that baby lion cub grows up and becomes a full adult male lion, that lion will be 120 centimeters. I have a question for you. And my question is, how much taller up to the shoulder is the adult lion compared to the very tiny baby lion? So we have the adult 120 centimeters and the baby lion cub 30 centimeters. How much more centimeters tall is the adult? Well, let's see. How would we solve that? And I'm going to show you on the screen. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this 120 centimeters and we're going to split it into the place value. So we're going to take the 100 and plus 20, and if we wanted to, we could have put plus 0 because there's 0 ones, but we don't need to do plus 0. So we have 120 equals 100 plus 20. So then the next thing we do is we take this 100 and move it over here, and we are going to subtract the 30 centimeters of the lion cub to see what is left. And so we get 100 minus 30 equals 70 centimeters left. So then we take that 70 centimeters and move it down. And we can't forget about the original 20 that we haven't used yet. So we have to move that one down too. And we create a brand new equation, which looks like this. 70 plus 20 equals, what do you think? 70 plus 20. We could count by tens. So we could say 70, 80, 90. Okay? So a lion cub is 30 centimeters tall, and then an adult lion is 90 centimeters taller when they become a full-grown adult. All right? So now let's look at the elephant. So when baby elephants are born, they are 90 centimeters tall. And when the elephant, the huge elephant, biggest land animal, heaviest land animal in the world, when that elephant grows up to be a full adult, it's 320 centimeters tall at the shoulder right here. So from the ground all the way up to the shoulder, 320 centimeters. And the baby from the ground up to the back is 90. But my question is, how much taller is the adult elephant compared to the baby elephants? So again, we're going to do the same process. We take the 320 centimeters and we split it up by the place value. I know that 300 has 3 100s, so I can say 100 plus 100 plus 100 plus 20. And there's no ones. So then I take this 100 and move it over here. And then we're going to subtract the 90 centimeters that is the height of the baby elephant. And we see how much is left, which is 10 centimeters. So 100 minus 90 equals 10 centimeters left. So once again, we can't forget about the parts that we haven't used yet. So we move the 10 centimeters down, and then we move the parts that we haven't used yet, 100 plus 100 plus 20, down to create a brand new equation. Now, how do we find the total of this? Well, we look for friendly numbers. So we have 100 plus 100, and I know that 100 doubled is 200. So then I look at 10 plus 20. Well, I know that 10 plus 20 equals 30. So the total, so the adult elephant is how many centimeters taller? 230 centimeters taller. From the baby's back up to the elephant's back, the adult back is 230 centimeters taller. Wow. Well, we did the lion, we did the heaviest land animal on Earth. Now let's look at the tallest land animal on Earth, the giraffe. At birth, a giraffe is already 180 centimeters tall. That's how tall I am. That's amazing. A baby giraffe, when it's born, is the same height as Mr. Tyler, as me. And that giraffe keeps growing and becomes 600 centimeters when it's a full-grown adult. Amazing. But my question is, again, how much taller is the adult giraffe compared to the baby giraffe? So from the very top of the baby giraffe to the very top of the adult giraffe, how much taller? Well, let's go through the same process one more time. So we take the 600 centimeters and we break it apart by place value. There are no tens and there are no ones, but there are 6 hundreds, 6 100s. So we can say 600 equals 100 plus 100, that's 2, plus 3, plus 100, plus 100, plus 100, plus 100. So then, now, what we do next is, since the baby giraffe is 180 centimeters, we have to take 2 100s and move those down. And we're going to combine them together to get 200. And then we subtract the original, the height of the baby to see what's left. So 200 minus 180 equals 20 centimeters left. We move the 20 centimeters down, and we can't forget the 400 that we have not used yet. So we move that down and we get a brand new equation. So 20 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100. So again, let's find friendly numbers. Just like with the elephant, last slide, we know that 100 doubled is 200. And then 100 doubled again is 200. So 200 doubled is 400, and we can't forget the 20. So 20 plus 400 equals, roll, exactly, 420 centimeters. So from the top of the baby giraffe's head to the top of the adult giraffe's head is an increase. When a giraffe grows 420 centimeters by the time they are a full-grown adult giraffe. Wow, amazing. The tallest animal in the world, land animal in the world. All right, so now we are going to focus on humans. and you specifically. But before we do that, we have another read aloud, and this book is called Bigger, and it's written by Daniel Kirk, and it's all about this boy growing and growing and getting bigger and bigger, just like you have in your life.
Bigger by Daniel Kirk. Once I was very small. I was so small that I was hardly even me. But every day in the darkness of my mother's womb, I grew. I grew bigger and bigger and bigger until I was born. I pushed very hard with my little arms and kicked hard with my little legs. And guess what? I got bigger. I kept growing when the sun shone and by the light of the moon. Even though I did not know how to walk or talk or dress or feed myself, there was always one thing I knew how to do: grow. Nothing could stop me now because I was getting bigger. My, how you've grown, people would say. What a big boy you are. And I knew they were right. They were right because when I stood next to the table, I could see what was on top of it instead of just underneath. I could stand on my toes and touch the doorknob and the telephone and the light switch on the wall, even though I wasn't supposed to. Boxes were filled with my old shirts and coats and pants and shoes because they didn't fit me anymore. Only big clothes would fit me now. I took big steps, ate big meals, and used big words. I slept in a big bed and went to a big school. I played with big toys and bigger boys. Sometimes I didn't like it when other kids played with my toys, but I was getting bigger, big enough to share. And as I got bigger, my world began to grow. I learned the names of animals I had never seen, and then I went to see them. I saw the houses all around my own and the people who lived in them. I learned their names, and they learned mine. I learned about the oceans and the mountains and the stars in the sky 1,000,000 miles away. Everywhere I looked, I saw my world getting bigger, and everything I saw, I took inside, and I was big enough to hold it all.
Look how big he is now. So he started out as a very, very small child, just who was just birthed from his mother, and he just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, just like you did. You, as first graders, have gone through the exact same life process as this boy. You, when you were born, were tiny, tiny little babies, and then you kept eating and learning and thinking and playing and eating some more and more and more, and you just kept growing and getting bigger, just like the boy. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna start our activity, but you need some materials first. So what you need is, you need a piece of paper. It can have lines or not, doesn't matter. You need a regular writing pencil and some kind of measuring tape. Ask your mom and dad if they have either one of these two types of measuring tapes. A meter stick would work as well, but the best one that you could use is this one right here. This is a very, very long measuring tape. And then both of these two would be better than meter stick. So what I would like to do is I would actually like you to pause the video right now. And I want you to go grab a piece of paper, a pencil, and a measuring tape. Come on back when you have it all and press play again. All right, welcome back. I'm glad you have all of your materials now. Let me show you the chart that you are going to use in Seesaw. Okay, so let me have all the boxes come up. So it says up here, it says we're not studying animals anymore. We are studying you. And my question for you is, how many centimeters have you grown since you were born? Now, the first thing you are going to do is you are going to find out from your parents how tall you were at birth. How many centimeters long were you at birth? It should say on your birth certificate, or I'm sure your mom and dad remember. If not, you can do a little investigating to find out. So step one is find out how many centimeters long you were at birth. Then the next thing is you're going to fill in this box. How tall are you now? So that you're going to get your measuring tape, and you are going to measure your full body from head to heel, and you're going to write here how many centimeters tall you are now. Okay, and then you are going to answer this question: how many centimeters have you grown since you were born? And use the same kind of math that we used with the lion, the elephant, and the giraffe. Okay, and then you're going to fill in this box here when you find the difference between these two numbers. You need to answer that. So you say, I have grown blank. I have grown blank centimeters since I was born. Okay, and then what I want you to do is, this is the very last step. After you fill in these three boxes, don't forget to show your work here. You can write lots of equations and things, strategies to find how much you have grown since you were born. Then you take a picture and place it here. If you want, you can put a picture of you as a baby and a picture of what you look like now, or you can put any pictures you want as long as it's right here and it's not blocking the boxes. All right, so what I want you to do is go back into Seesaw and do the activity. I hope you like it.